Hi guys, it's Mia. Welcome to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. And today we are talking about high school. Yes. High school. Now, the day that you are watching this, or the day I should say that I am uploading this, will mark the 1 year anniversary of me graduating high school. Now I feel as if I have processed and healed from a lot of the shit that happened to me in high school, that I can finally talk about it. Now, I got this idea from my friend Alyssa. She gave me the idea to talk about high school and stuff like that. So thank you, Alyssa. I had like my notebook of what I wrote. So a few fun facts about my high school that it makes it a bit unique from other high school experiences is that I was in an IB school. Now, if you don't know what IB is, you're one of the lucky ones. But if you do, I'm sorry. What is IB? I can't even explain IB, and I went to an IB school. IB stands for International Baccalaureate, and honestly, it's just like a way of saying that you're taking college level classes in high school. Another fun fact about my high school is that I was actually the first graduating class. My class of 2019, was the first ever class to graduate from our high school, and that also means that we never had upperclassmen. Every year we were considered the upperclassmen. So for like freshman year, it was literally just my grade in the school. Speaking of graduating classes, we were a class of 99 kids. 99 kids. But 20 of the kids throughout the 4 years of high school ended up leaving, so we actually graduated with a class of 79 students. And we're going to get into how that played a role in my experience. And the last thing that I think makes my high school experience pretty unique than like the average high school student is that I did go to a city school. I live in New York City, and I think a lot of New York City kids can say that our experiences differ from kids that go to suburban high schools. But let's get into it. Let's just like talk about being a high school student in New York. So like I said before, I was a teenager growing up in New York City, and that is definitely very different from being a suburban kid. I will say this, a lot of New York City kids are more likely to be independent because at a young age we were commuting by ourselves, like on the train. We were doing a lot of things on our own that a lot of like suburban kids like have to depend on like their parents to like drive them places, or like older siblings or older friends. I would just be like, Mom, I'm hopping on the train and I'm going to the Upper West Side to hang out with my friend. And she was like, okay. So like I think that's one cool thing about being a New York City teenager, is that you could literally just depend on yourself to get to places, and I think that's pretty cool. Another thing that is fun is that I'm gonna speak from my own, because being a Manhattan kid is a lot different than other boroughs, but the whole city is your backyard. I just remember when I was a teenager, I'm 18, when I was a high school student and I would hang out with my friends, we would go anywhere. We would hang out sometimes downtown, like in St. Mark's. Sometimes we'll go to Chelsea Piers and hang out like on the hills. There were a lot of times where I would go to like the Riverside like park that's on like the Upper West Side, like on 72nd Street. We would go to the movies down on 34th Street. We would go shopping in Soho. Like, you can do a lot of things in the city and you're not like stuck to like the same old shit. I just thought that like not being a suburban kid would affect me more than it really did, and I honestly don't regret going to high school in New York City now that I look back at it, because I was able to do a lot more than a lot of suburban kids. Let's talk about parties. Okay, so like the party scene is a bit different in New York City, and it was a lot different from in my school. So I guess like because like we don't live in houses and we do live in apartments, our type of parties would like be a maximum of like 20 to 25 people, which is understandable. It's a small ass crib, and you know, you have neighbors, things are just a lot louder and more confined. So like how my school would handle parties is that you had to be invited. There would always be a guest list. There would be a Snapchat group chat. Yeah, if you were a part of that group chat, you were invited and you had to be on the guest list to go. If you weren't on the guest list, you could not go. I mean, you could, but like people would be like, what the fuck, you weren't on the list. And okay, so like I wasn't invited to a lot of parties, but I was invited to a few, and from those few, they were enough for me. So you know what? Let's be real. We all know what happens in parties. You know, just the alcohol, the drugs, the vaping. We're at a party, and like I don't judge the girl. It happens. We've all been there. But when I tell you, New York City apartments are small, they are small. So there was this girl, and she was drinking, and she had a little too much to drink. And so what happened was she couldn't make it to the bathroom, and she threw up in the hallway. So keep in mind, New York City apartments are very small. And so I was in the bedroom. So imagine a hallway, there's the bedroom here, the bathroom here, and then the outing to like go to the living room and to even just leave the apartment over there. She threw up between the outing and the bathroom in the hallway. So I was potentially stuck in the bedroom because I could not walk out into the hallway. And I remember just like sitting there with a group of people, and we're kind of like, okay, it happens. They ended up having to do for us is getting a step stool over the vomit, and we all had to jump onto the step stool to get over the vomit. Just one of those stories. Again, I don't blame the girl. It happens. You get sick. A lot of people got sick at that party that time. So, like, I'm not here to blame the girl, but it's just definitely one of those things where you're kind of just like, yeah. Then there was this other time. This has to do with me. I had a friend, and he was like, yo, there's a party going on, right? And I was like, okay, cool. It's at so-and-so's place, right? And I'm with my friend, let's call him, I have names for these people, Xavier. So me and my friend Xavier got invited to this party from our friend James. And James was like, yeah, like it's a party, like you're invited, like I'm inviting you, like just come. And I was like, okay. And me and Xavier were really excited. We were like, okay, it's a party, we're gonna have fun. You know, we meet up with James later that night, and we go and we walk in, and it wasn't a party. It was a get-together. It was a get-together with a bunch of guys, and I was the only girl. And to make things worse, we were all in the bathroom hanging out. Don't ask me why we were in the bathroom hanging out, but we were in the bathroom hanging out. And I was on like the ledge of like the bathtub, right? And you know, I was getting a little uncomfortable. Getting just a little too uncomfortable to sit. And so I go on the floor and I make room for this other guy that was going to sit. And he turns to me and he goes, I get it. People with no butts like us, it hurts. I mean, I was never offended by what he said because it was kind of funny, and it is true. I don't have an ass. I can't like get mad at him for like saying I don't have an ass. But it was just like so funny, and I was just like so uncomfortable because I thought it was gonna be like a party, and it was just me, one girl with a bunch of guys, and it was uncomfortable. It was uncomfortable, but like I also didn't leave. Like I stayed for hours, which we're not gonna go deeper into that. The most fun party I ever went to did not even happen at my school. It happened with this girl. Her name is Stephanie, and I knew of Stephanie because I had a best friend, and her name, let's call her Lola. And so this party didn't even take place anywhere near my school. It was Lola's best friend, and she was having a party. And it was so much fun because it was a party. She did not care about the noise. She had space space in her apartment. We were all there dancing, singing, and I'm the type of person, I actually do like to dance and sing and have a good time at a party. I'm not really one like to sit down. Oh, I just remember having so much fun at that party, and it was cute. It was themed. I forgot the theme. Was it themed? It was a girl's birthday party, and she threw it like for her, but we were invited, and it was just so much fun just seeing everyone dancing and having fun. And this was at the time where like God's plan was a thing, and I just remember everybody like singing like the only love my vet and my mama, I'm sorry, and then that was fun. And then when Bodak Yellow came on and everyone was shouting that Amigos like album, it was just a fun party. Yeah, no, everyone had a lot of fun at that party, and it was one of the best parties I ever went to. At the time when I was like not invited to the party, so like I said, you needed to be a guest list, I was kind of upset because, you know, you kind of just don't want, like, all my friends would get invited and I would be like the only one that would be like missing out on them, and so I kind of felt left out in that sense. But looking back at it now, it really does feel a lot worse when you're in it than when you're out. Like, I look back and I'm like, I made my memories. Like, I really like yeah, going to the parties would have been fun, but I still have a few pretty memorable ones. Oh, let's talk about boys. This is really embarrassing. I can't believe I'm about to admit this on the internet. I had this huge crush on this boy. Let's call him, I had a name for him. Let's call him Connor. Now, I had the biggest crush on Connor. All of freshman year and half of sophomore year, I was like in love with this boy. He was the only guy I ever really liked in high school. He was the only one that like I really had feelings for. You want to talk about like real simp shit? Like, I'm really about to expose myself. I sat next to him in my living environments class, and he like had a tendency like to like fall asleep during class and stuff like that. So what I would do, being like the simp that I am, I would take not only my notes but his notes so that he could sleep but still get the notes so he could pass the class. I did other things. I remember he spilled some like drink on his bag and I offered to clean the backpack. I was 14. We don't need to hold it, but yeah. And he was actually someone I considered a really good friend throughout high school. So not only did I like him, but we were close friends. I don't even know how to, like, this is one of the more like heartbreaking moments of my high school career, because what I'm about to say really broke my heart. So like I said before, we were best friends, right? And all of a sudden one day I just noticed that he wasn't talking to me as much, and that, you know, he was being a little distant, and I like didn't know why. I had no idea. I just wasn't thinking much of it. I was just like, whatever. And then I found out why from my friend Xavier, and Xavier was like, him and this girl named Lola is planning to hook up, right? But Lola was my friend and she knew I liked him and she was planning to hook up with him and not tell me about it. Now, I'm not the type of person to be like, no, you can't hook up with him, I like him, because I don't own him. Like, we're not together. It's okay if he doesn't like me back. If you like him and he likes you, go for it. Be together. I am not one to be like, no, fuck you, you can't be together. Like, no, that's fucking stupid. I wasn't upset about that. What I was upset about is that Lola decided that, yeah, she was gonna plan to hook up with him. Because I was hurt. Like, even though I wasn't mad at her for it, I was hurt. You're gonna be hurt. You're hurt even if the guy that you like is hooking up with a girl that you're not even close with. You're hurt by that. Not only was she planning to hook up with him, she told everyone that I liked him, including him. So he stopped talking to me, and a lot of people were like inserting their own opinion. A lot of people were inserting their own opinions and like their like 2 cents into the situation. That really like sucked, because like I said before, I went to a really small school, and this is how a small school plays a huge effect on how things play out. Almost everyone knows your business. You go to a school with 79 kids. The chances of your shit getting out and having the whole grade know is very likely. It was really tough, to say the least. It felt like, even though I bet a lot of people like didn't care about it, I knew people were talking about it, and it was something that was like so personal to me and something that like really meant a lot to me. Then just having people just like gossip about it, even if it was like just for a period, was just really frustrating. And like also just like the fact that I lost 2 friends in the process of it all really hurt. Like my heart is breaking for 15-year-old me right now, not because I'm still like in the situation, but I feel like that is hard for anybody. I mean, not knowing fully why he stopped talking to me like made me like question like, oh, am I like that ugly, or like is he that grossed out by like me liking him, or like was he really just trying to protect me? Like I have no idea, and I had no idea, so I automatically like thought the worst, and I was like, oh, he really is disgusted by me, like he's so grossed out that I like him, stuff like that. I think I would have like been better, like I would have been hurt either way, but I think I would have taken the situation less personally if it wasn't done behind my back, because she was keeping it a secret from me but like telling everyone else about it. Everyone in high school has like that unrequited love where you're really into someone and you just know they just don't like you back, or you're really into like a friend in my situation and they don't like you back, and it makes things weird or uncomfortable. It's a really tough situation, but I really don't want you questioning your worth because of it, because it really has nothing to do with you. Like I look back at it and I'm like, yeah, I was hurting, but you know, people don't like you sometimes, and that's just life, and everything happens for a reason. I mean, you know, if he's not meant for you, he's not meant for you. And I know like you want him to be, and I know you want him or her like to be your like soulmate, and you just, there's no one else but them. But when I tell you there is, and you're gonna be fine. But I think that wraps it up for part 1. Next on this whole high school experience journey type of shit, we will be talking about teacher experiences, friendships, and let me get the other one, and overall messages. See you next time.